All right, sports fans, welcome back to another episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Pez, the man with the picks. A quick call to action if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like the channel, all that fun stuff so you don't miss anything in the world of sports. Also, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. We do appreciate it. Pez, what's going on?
Not too much, Jeff. I got all wagons circled. I'm reaching out around the world, all my sources, NBA playoff action. You cannot mess around with NBA playoff action. College basketball is fun. NBA playoff action is where the men and the strong women come out to gamble. It's a different game. You got to analyze it different. And I had to call all my sources in, Jeff. We're going to be punching data for the next month or so here.
Nice. Let's back up. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit Masters. All right. Let's talk about the Masters golf tournament. We're not going to spend a ton of time. I realize a lot of people that might not gamble on golf because it's unbelievably difficult. But what did I say last week? I said if there's one guy that I said I feel confident with the money, it's the odds-on favorite to win, Scotty Scheffler, and he wins at plus 400.
Jeff, just like in horse gambling, kind of boring when the favorite wins. Tiger Woods, who went through a period like this, unless you have money on it, of course. Scotty Scheffler, and I was talking about it with the fifth string JMU punter, great golfer. I got a little disagreement with him. I said the Thursday morning guys, when they started late with that wet conditions, kind of had the easiest play, had a huge advantage. Scheffler, Shambo got to 6-7 under. And at that point, Scheffler, he pretty much played boring par golf up until I believe it was the ninth hole on Sunday when I believe he was tied or it looked like Aberg and some of those guys were coming. I think coming off a bogey, Scheffler he smacked a drive that you could just tell. The guy dug down. He did what Michael Jordan would do, what Tiger Woods would do, Jack Nicklaus. He found the extra gear, pummeled that ball, hit that wedge, spun it. It was a Tiger-esque shot. It was going in, a little tap-in birdie. Morikawa duffed two out of the sand. It was a total knockout blow, Jeff. I texted my golf guys, day's over. It got boring. It was over. No comeback. An amazing player. We did hit one bet, Jeff, Pez's Picks. If you recall, we snuck in a kind of a special bet. Tiger was 1 under par through his first 3 holes. I think we bet even or better. Tiger Woods, Jeff, you got to give it out to him. First 2 days, the guy played golf that appeared he was capable of contending, and the rest is history. Saturday,
Well,
obviously,
he
the
got
oil.
screwed. He got screwed with the weather. He got screwed because he didn't finish his first round. He had to go out early on Friday, and then they had to go back out and still play 18 holes. And for most of it's like, what's the big deal? For Tiger, he's like the Tin Man. He's got to get all the oil and lube up the joints, and to do that twice in a day is difficult. But I will say this about Scotty Scheffler. To me, the turning point in the tournament was on Saturday. He was playing bogey golf. And it was on Amen Corner. He had just bogeyed 12, the short par 3, and he goes to the par 5 13th with Rays Creek that runs all along the left side and in front of the green. And he had a nice drive on the left side. He's in go range. And a lot of guys would have played it safe and laid up, sticks a 3-iron and eagles the par 5. And that from that point on, everything flipped. Because I want to say that even who he was playing with on that weekend, I think they went into Rays Creek. And it was just like everything just changed. Everything just changed. It was Sunday was boring because Scotty was just parring his way to a victory, but he didn't have to do anything crazy except for when I will say though, he had some birdies down the stretch, like you mentioned. Like that wedge shot was phenomenal. He didn't just say, I'm just going to par my way to win. He made some aggressive swings.
Well, they say that the Masters champions, the best, are the most conservative guys. He did not take chances. He put the ball where he needed to. You got to birdie the par 5s. You got to put yourself in position to win. And, that guy, it reminds me of Tiger. It reminds me of a Secretariat or a great racehorse, Jeff, where it appears they're not really trying hard and they're lapping the field. Scotty Scheffler, to Pez's picture right now, we have entered into a Tiger Woods status where it's him and everybody else. I imagine his odds are not going to be great on this next major. His data, his iron play, his driving play, it's rivaling Tiger Woods' greatest years, and that I've been waiting for this, Jeff. Rory had a glimpse of it, but that faded a long time ago. Spieth, a short glimpse, maybe a little Koepka. I also think, Jeff, and in terms of gambling, we're going to put this down in our algorithm, that it appears to me that Live Golf has hurt those guys. Those guys did not have the mojo to contend. Things got tight. Shambo lacked the intensity that he used to have. Shambo was hitting bad shots. He did not appear to bear down and get angry. He appeared to kind of lose his focus. Laugh it off a little bit, Jeff. John Rahm even. Guy used to curse, used to throw clubs. I hate to say this, Rambo was complaining that some of the PGA guys didn't even look me in the eye. They were mean to me. $400 million, Jeff? I'd probably roll out there in my robe, right? I mean, I think going forward, it's going to be Scheffler and the PGA guys. And I don't know if you've read this, Jeff. $850 million and a 2% stake and lives on the table for Rory. I'm worried about it, Jeff. I'm worried. I mean, we have a lot of golf to talk this summer, and we have time for that. But I'm a little worried.
Well, Rory doesn't move the needle too much for me anymore, and he says that it's not true, but so did John Rahm a year ago. But let's not talk too much about the Masters. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs coming up. You have some picks. We're talking about Saturday and Sunday matchups here. Why don't we start on Saturday? The team that's covered you've been talking about them for a while now, and that's the Orlando Magic. They cover at a ridiculous clip. Magic plus 4.5 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're saying take the Magic.
Jeff, I love the Magic. I think the Orlando Magic are one of the most underrated teams. Number one team covering the spread. And they stumbled a little bit down the stretch. They were at about 67% for a couple months of covering. Finished the season, Jeff, 51-31 against the spread. A shocking 62.2% cover rate. Getting points. I love this game, Jeff. I don't understand sometimes how these lines come about. I mean, obviously, they're smarter people than me. Cleveland, I don't think has the lineup to match Orlando. And, the way I look at this, Jeff, teams that cover and teams that cover consistently continue to cover in the playoffs because it means they're playing hard defense. It means they're getting under and they're working for rebounds. I watched the game last night. Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, Shaq, we're talking about teams that don't get back on defense are not playoff winning teams. They're not disciplined. Where they're kind of jogging back. They're not back in position. LeBron looks for that. Anytime LeBron sees that there's one or two guys that are in position, nobody else charges straight downhill to the basket. I think Orlando has proven themselves to be a hardworking team. They are going to be a tough team on defense, rebounding. And everybody knows this. You got to win game one of these early playoff series. You don't win game one, you are in big, big trouble statistically on winning these series.
Okay. So you like the Magic to keep doing what they've been doing, and that's cover spreads. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Saturday, 1 p.m. basketball, Jeff. I remember back in, not to date myself, but my brother and I would sit in the backyard, Jeff. We'd get a couple extension cords. It's back in the 80s where prior to Jim Tan Laundry being the Jersey Shore kind of motto, all us Jersey guys wanted to be tan. Jeff, you had a bronze up for the prom. We'd roll that black and white into the backyard. We get some lawn chairs. I recall watching Larry Bird battle in these playoffs, and 1 o'clock game. Who could ask for anything better, Jeff? There's nothing else going on right now. We got playoff action. They're going to actually play defense in the NBA in the playoffs, which is shocking to me. They might even allow a little hand checking, which I can't wait for, Jeff. I'm a big physical basketball guy, so looking forward to it big time.
All right, let's go to the other Saturday game, the LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are giving 6.5. You like the Nuggets, though, to win and to cover over LeBron and the Lakers.
We punched some quick data on this game today, Jeff. I believe the Denver Nuggets swept the Lakers throughout the regular season. A little bit of caveat, though. Lakers, a type of team that are very tough to kind of predict regular season, how well they're going to do in the playoffs. Miami Heat, another similar situation. Some of these veteran teams, they take games off. They don't look at the regular season as important as they used to. Anthony Davis, and LeBron, that their A game is on now. I believe they've won 12 out of 15 now after winning the play-in game against the Pelicans the other night. Vintage LeBron. I mean, the guy that, without contact defense, this guy at 39 is probably as effective as he was 20 years ago when they were playing contact defense in that league. He gets downhill rolling at that basket. That's a tough guy to stop. Having said that, think the Denver Nuggets are a little bit too much. I think that the Lakers have exhaled a little bit after making the playoffs and getting in with that play-in game. Davis a little bit banged up. He was real pumped up to play against his old team. I love Denver in this situation, laying the 6.5. Tough place to play, Jeff. I've done a lot of skiing and hiking up there in Colorado. Tough to breathe. The air clearly thinner, Jeff. I mean, it's a mile-high city, so I like Denver in this one. I like it to be a close series, though. I'm not counting LeBron out from winning the series, but I like Denver in game one.
All right. So the Saturday picks, just to recap, take the Magic getting 4.5 against the Cavs, and then take the Nuggets to cover 6.5 that they're giving the Lakers. Let's go to Sunday. We have one game there. The Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks go head to head. The Bucks are getting a point, and you say take the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, Jeff, like this Lakers Denver game, Pez's picks, we're data driven. I mean, we're looking at data, and going into the playoffs, sometimes things change. But based on the data, Denver was not a great covering team. Okay, but we have a thing called MOV when we're analyzing data, we're analyzing covers. MOV, margin of victory. Denver's margin of victory averaged just under 10 points, 9.9 points a game. So when I look at a margin of victory, you're averaging a 10-point win a game. That tells me they had large spreads. They would have been covering under normal circumstances. So that Denver line has gone down. It's within their margin of victory. I love Denver, just like I love Milwaukee. A little bit of a caveat, though. If Giannis isn't playing, Jeff, I do not like Milwaukee. That would be a tough situation. I love Lillard. I love the team, but without Giannis in that lineup, I don't know if they have the firepower to keep up with the Indiana Pacers. The line opened with Milwaukee laying 3. Now they're getting 1. I have in my research, Jeff, determined that Giannis is probably going to play. A calf injury, which for a big guy like that, I mean, it sounds like a soft injury, but tough to jump, tough to get up and down the court when you have a beat up calf. I think he's going to play. I think he's turning the corner towards 100%. Checking the injury report Saturday and Sunday will be a big indicator. If Giannis is not in that lineup, we're going to take that game off the board, Jeff. If he is in the lineup, I love him in this situation. I think Milwaukee's a little bit underrated. I think it took them a while to get used to Doc Rivers and their style of basketball. Milwaukee's if there's a reality show this year in the NBA, it's Milwaukee. Had a coach that they let go after about a month. The guy was a little bit crazy. Doc Rivers, old school guy, demanding a little bit more discipline. I think it's taken some time. Some people are arguing against me, though, Jeff. Doc Rivers did not get a warm welcome here in Philadelphia. I'm still on board with him. I think the guy knows how to win in the playoffs. If Giannis is playing, I love Milwaukee.
Okay, so take the Bucks over, but again, caveat is the injury report. We'll keep tabs on that. Folks, I want to take some time real quick and let you know you might be thinking about this, and you might have thought about this in March Madness and said, well, these picks are great, but what about all the other games? Well, what about the games that are not, this is clearly going to run on Thursday morning, both on YouTube and our audio side. What about all the other picks? You can find Pez on social media at Pez's Picks, both on Twitter or X and on Instagram, where he's going to be giving you more daily picks there. So you got to check him out so that if you want to know, well, what about the games between Saturday, Sunday games and the next time we record for next week, that's where you can find out those picks. So Pez, you're going to be out there, man. You're going to be out there.
Jeff, Pez's Picks is we're as the kids say, going viral, if you will, Jeff. We're doing Pez's Picks of the day. Almost every day we're going to have a pick. We're going to give a confidence rating. I don't know if I'm allowed to let this out contractually, Jeff, but FFSN has hired a social media guru. I don't want to really leak any names, but last name is Zuckerberg. I don't know if that rings any bells for anybody, Jeff, but we've got the big guns on our team now. We're going international. We are going to have data analyzed picks, hopefully on a daily basis. If we don't, Jeff, that means we don't like any games that day.
Yeah.
If we love a game, or if we love 2 games, we might be putting that out. We're going to be putting out some kind of help hints and some kind of rules about gambling. We're putting out one today, Jeff. Anytime a public bet, meaning everybody in the public is jumping on a team, anytime public bet a line up, Pez's Picks, we tend to look at the other side. When Vegas sets a line, and the game I'm talking about, Jeff, we're recording on Wednesday. Everybody knows we record this. So Tonight, the Miami Heat are visiting Philadelphia 76ers. Line opened at 4. Public has bet that up to 6. Pez's Picks is leading Miami, Jeff, even though I'm a Philly guy. You're getting 2 free points, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but 2 free points that's like a touchdown in the NFL, Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bucket. So when the public bets up a line, there's the other reason that we use in Pez's Picks indicators. Vegas always wins, Jeff. If Vegas is giving you 2 extra points, that means everybody's taking the losing side, in my opinion. So these are little things that we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for little advantages, and we're going to be trying to let those out throughout this season as we get into horse betting season and baseball and turn the corner. Not far from the NFL, Jeff.
Yeah.
Not too
it's hard to
far.
believe. Well,
draft is coming.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about betting on the draft because you can bet on the draft, and that'll be next week's show. Thursday is the first round on the 25th, so we'll be talking about that for sure in next week's show. But do you have any RBC Heritage in Hilton Head, South Carolina? You have any picks for that upcoming PGA event?
Jeff, I got a late flyer here.
Okay.
My most respected golfer, the 5th round, the fifth string punter from JMU from 20 years ago. Guy is a legit golf guru. I've seen him shoot under par, Jeff, which for weekend golfers that ain't usual. Guy came at me. He said, "You better announce Tom Hoagie, to come in top 20 this week." Tom Hoagie, Jeff. I've never heard anybody say Tom Hoagie other than some golf nerds like us. This guy's laying money on it. I like it. He's got good odds. Tom Hoagie's got a good game. Sturdy guy. I think a top 20 is a legitimate play for him. I'm a little suspect about this game, though, Jeff. I am worried about the PGA. Matsuyama rumors. We got Rory McIlroy rumors. I feel like you can see it on some of these guys' faces. Maybe. Scheffler appeared to me, and Homa, one of the only a couple of guys that didn't seem to be confused or let down. Spieth, Thomas. I mean, give me a break. Guys didn't even show up at this tournament. We do have a future bonus bet here, Jeff. I read an article today. I think it's something that Pez's Picks is going to put out now before something changes. Big fight that we're looking at. Probably our first big boxing match that Pez's Picks is covered on FFSN. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Coming up this summer, Jeff. I'm excited. I explained to my son, boxing used to be on regular TV. You didn't have to pay. Netflix is about as close as we can get. Right now, you can get Mike Tyson at plus 300, Jeff. Plus 300. Now there's some conversation. Is this going to be a legitimate fight, or is this going to be an exhibition? So the fight's in Texas under Texas law. If it's a sanctioned fight, we're using 10-ounce gloves, Jeff. And I've done a little boxing, 10-ounce gloves. I mean, that's like getting hit by somebody's fist. If it's an exhibition, I think they pump it up to 12-ounce gloves, 2-minute rounds. I think either way, Jeff, and Lennox Lewis agrees with me. Guy's the classiest speaking boxer we've ever had from England. He said he is worried that Mike Tyson might kill Jake Paul. Mike Tyson outweighs Jake Paul many pounds, which I know in boxing, if you fight a bigger guy, they're going to punch you harder. Mike Tyson, the hardest puncher I've ever seen. Jake Paul, Jeff, I don't know. Maybe a scrappy guy. Maybe he's done a little training. Until you go up against a professional boxer, a trained boxer, you have not been punched. So I love Mike Tyson at plus 300. To me, that's easy money, Jeff. I would jump all over that right now.
When is that fight?
I believe it's in July.
Okay, so we have some time. We have some time.
We have time, but I think that line could shift. Tyson put out a Twitter video, X video today of him in a full sprint saying, "Jake, I'm coming for you." Now, if there's anybody in the world I wouldn't want coming for me, Jeff, it's Mike Tyson. I heard a great story on Howard Stern, Steve O. I don't know if you're familiar with the Jackass Gang, Pennsylvania guys. Steve O happened to be in drug rehabilitation with Mike Tyson, which is, a sad thing. But he said they got to know each other. They were going to do a celebrity roast together. And he said he was telling Tyson, "Hey, let's do something crazy. Maybe you punch me." And he said Tyson kept saying to him, "Oh, well, I can't do that. I'll hurt you. I don't want to hurt you." So Steve O said, "Well, how about you just hold up your fist and I will run at it?" And Tyson said, "I don't want to do that, man. You're going to get hurt." He said, "You're not moving. I'm fine. I run into cows. They throw me off roofs. Alligator bit me in Jackass." Steve O sprints at Tyson's hand, not moving, breaks his jaw, Jeff. Just running into the guy holding his hand up. If I'm Jake Paul, I'm going back to, making Mr. Beast videos or something. So, Pez's Picks, we're giving a We're giving a 5 Pez Man, Pez and Spencer pick on this one, Jeff. Close to a lock of the year for us. Tyson, easy money, plus 300 over Jake Paul if you can get it right now.
Yeah, get it while you can. Get it while you can for sure. All right, if you all want to have some more RBC Heritage, Hilton Head, South Carolina picks, you can check out my Fairways and Dreams podcast that drops today on Thursday. Anywhere where you find your podcast. Pez was on my podcast leading up to the Masters. I've got specials, tournament specials, all that fun stuff. You like gambling on golf, go check out that podcast. Pez, any final thoughts though?
Let's have fun this weekend, Jeff. Let's do our homework. Watch a lot of basketball. It's going to be a long playoffs. It's like season part 2.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Pez, thank you for your time, man. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we will be in touch. We'll talk next week. Take it easy.
See you.